going on, ladies and gents, dollars and cents? We have patch notes 9.15. It is a must-needed patch. A lot of bugs have been happening, a lot of OP builds have been happening, and there's no really way around trying to beat them. So this whole patch has looked at that, which is good. I'm glad that Riot has done that. And as you guys can see above me with all the bookmarks, we've got a lot to take on throughout this patch. Now I'm going to make this short and sweet. I don't want to make it a lengthy one. I'm going to run it over, give you guys my thoughts and my ideas on how maybe they could change things and what I believe they've done really well. Because I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about what's the new patch like, what's happened, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I know a lot of people have done these patch notes. So I thought I would do my own patch notes real quick and throw it up on YouTube for you guys, just to give you guys my run through and what I think is good and bad. And if you guys like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and goddamn subscribe. I do have a coffee with me today, so you'll see throughout the video I'll be sipping away on the goddamn coffee. But without further ado, I do want to make this short and sweet. So, this week in patch 9.15, as you guys can see here, this week we're giving the defense origins and classes more beef, such as Knights, Guardians, and Nobles, and you will now form a more solid front line and give the defensive bonus to your whole entire team. Now that's really good for early game and late game now with Nobles, and I guess if you go down that path with Knights, I haven't seen like late game full Knight build. I would love to see that. I'm plat pushing Diamond soon myself, so I'm like mid-plat at the moment, pushing Diamond, so I'd like to see that happen maybe towards, you know, Diamond strats. If people start to bring in Knight, would be really cool to see. And of course, the Void's now looking to rip through your lines with true damage. So instead of being 50% armor pen, they now just do true damage, which is really cool, and there's no real way around that. Because, let's be honest, they don't really do too much damage, though. I mean, Kha'Zix would probably be the only one that could probably do the most amount of damage with this buff. But, I mean, true damage with Rek'Sai is crazy, so Assassins will be getting a bit of a buff there if you go Void Assassins, so that'll be pretty good. And we'll also decrease the amount of health players lose each round to open up a variety of strategies of win or loss streaks. Thank God. So that way, if you do get pumped in the first 3 rounds, and you go to carousel with like 60 HP, probably not that much, but you try and defend for your goddamn life, because let's be honest, we've been there. And, you know, RNG isn't always in your favor, so it does cost you to the point where it's a little too late. And, of course, now with this buff, I'm hoping it's going to be maybe, like, you lose probably a max amount of health, 20. I would like to see a max point. So even if you do get pumped, you still only lose a max amount of health, which is what I would like to see. And that will probably help out a lot with the progression throughout the games. I'd rather the games go longer, to be honest, than being, like, pumping people in the first 3 rounds and then like they're on like 60 HP. Yeah, it's good if you're on the top, but if you are like mid-table and stuff, it is kind of a bit of, it does suck a little bit. Anyway, moving on. So the B patch is coming out on Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. Let's move on. So systems loss streak, we already spoke about that. Now, as I said, the win and loss streak now, we're winning and loss streaks more beneficial. So they've pretty much just decreased the amount of streak that you need to get the next tier in loss and win streaks. So they moved it from 5 to 4 for the 2 gold, and for 3 gold from 8 to 7 plus. So that's not bad. That's moving on from there. Class breakpoints. Okay, so gunslingers now have a chance to fire 3 additional attacks. Now, that is a lot, right? So you get 6 gunslingers. That is a lot, but they haven't got 6 gunslingers. They've only got 5 at this point. So I'm assuming they're going to be bringing in more brawlers, more gunslingers, more shapeshifters, and more blade masters. So I'm looking ahead here that they're going to be bringing a hell of a lot more champs to this whole entire TFT gameplay. So they're going to be bringing more shapeshifters, more blade masters, because there's not 9, there's not 6 brawlers. So this is going to be pretty good. There's going to be a big overhaul in champions throughout this game. So it's going to be really complex throughout that, which should be really cool. Anyway, gunslingers have a chance to fire 3 additional attacks, which I'm assuming gunslingers might change from 2 to 4. They haven't said this yet, but I think gunslingers might change from 2 to 4, being like 3 was an additional attack for 4, I believe it was. So I'm assuming they might change from 3 to 6. So you hit 1 additional person with 6 gunslingers, with 3 gunslingers, and 6 you'll end up hitting 3, which will probably be better in the end. So that way it'll get rid of the whole Blade Master gunslinger build combo, wombo, whatever the hell you like to call it. Brawlers, 6 brawlers. Maximum health of 1200 extra HP. That is going to be massive if you add like Titanic Hydra to it and a Warmogs to someone like that, like a Volley Bear or something, because that Titanic Hydra scales off health. So Brawlers late game with Titanic Hydra, Titanic Hydra, watch out, because that is going to be deadly as hell. Shapeshifters now gain 120% health bonus on transformation if you have 6. So I believe it was 100% before with 3. So if you do get 6, you get the extra 20%, so that's pretty good. Blade Masters, 9. Blade Masters have a chance to gain 4 extra attacks. This one is currently possible. Good luck. Yeah, so 9 Blade Masters. That's massive. So there's already 9 Blade Masters, as it says there. So trying to get 9 Blade Masters to get the chance to attack that extra 1 time rather than 3 times is quite nice. Moving on, player damage. So far, I think the Spiderlings and Elemental Goblins have all got a decrease in damage. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that. So you guys know Elemental Goblin gets a decrease, and at least the Spider's now going to decrease as well. Cool. Carousel units, 10 out of 9. So there was 10 people, you know, the carousel, the things go around, blah, 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 blah. You guys know carousel. I'm not going to go into that. So they reduce the amount of champions that rotate around the carousel from 10 to 9. So there's 1 less choice, which is not really much of a debuff if you end. You get 1 less item, but there was a lot of double ups and stuff in there. So we'll see how that turns out. Assassins. Nerf the Assassins in 9.14B. But we still want them to be functional in other comps. Yeah, so Wild Rengar should be available. Whoa. Be pretty good. So put some power into their abilities to avoid synergizing their new power with the Assassin trait bonus. Looking forward to that. Anyway, Assassins jump earlier and their jumps are quicker. Now, I've played this patch already a little bit, and I did go Assassins. They are a lot better. I went Void Assassin. And stacked my Kha'Zix and did really well, got 2nd place. But the one thing I did notice and I kind of didn't like too much about this was the Assassins jump earlier and make their jumps quicker. Which means where you used to angle all your champions that weren't Assassins to the far side, so it would draw the front line of the opposition forward, so your Assassins would jump in the back line. Now, because I jump sooner and faster, is less movement from the front line. So your Assassins kind of end up being in the front line anyway, which isn't really what you want. So if they do build all their champions into the corner and you're trying to draw them out to get to the back line, it's a lot harder now. But I guess Assassins got buffed in the sense, I don't know. I didn't really like it too much. I would have preferred them to leave, like maybe make them quicker, but still make it so they jump into the same spot. But I don't know. But they're being able to be targeted quicker. They do a bit more damage, but still, in the end, the bonus that I thought with the Assassins were jumping to the backline was a lot better, but this time it's been a bit of a debuff there, so I don't know, take it as you will, right? So Rengar got a buff in the attack speed, Rengar got, attack speed bonus and buff. Rengar got attack damage and speed, Katarina, Evelyn's ability, so Evelyn's now a lot stronger, so if you do go like a demon stuff, so demon will be a lot better. So late game, same for level 2, but 3 and 4 is an extra 50 damage for ability power, which is cool. So her ult does a little bit more damage, and her damage is up 10. So she does normal basic damage is pretty good as well. So Evelyn did get a pretty big boost there in the sense of things. And Katarina, I mean, now targets 4 champions at level 1, 6, and 8 at 2 and 3. Now, it wasn't really that noticeable, to be honest. Like, if you were able to get a Katarina to ult in the first place, you're not really going to have 6 players in the vicinity of Katarina. Like level 3, 8 players. I mean, you're going to have to stack Katarina because she's probably one of the highest ult chance. Like, to get her ult to go off, it takes a lot of mana. So, it's... To be even able to ult 8 people, good luck to you. Like, that's still a massive jump. But, I mean, it still works. I'm glad they brought that in. That's cool. Demon is proving a little more on the strong side now. So, demons, and just to keep them in check. Okay, so demon mana burn has been reduced. Now, we know that demon mana burn late game, full mana burn, is practically, you cannot get an ult off at all. Once they've all got mana burn, it's practically impossible for your shapeshifters to shapeshift, and any of your main damage dealers, if they are using ults, to ult at all. It's practically impossible. It's really hard. So now from 25% chance, a 50% chance to 85% chance, it's now been reduced quite a distance. So it's such a dramatic jump from level 2, like the second level synergy, which was 50, now down to 35, and then down to 60. So 25% drop off late game. So I'm going to see a lot of people maybe not so much push for the 60 anymore. Maybe stick to the 4 out of 6 comp because it's less of a hit. But I mean, if you love demons so much, go for it. But I mean, it's still strong. Varus gained an ability, so he's Varus' ult, the shooting arrow, damage reduction in early stages, level 1, and slight reduction in level 2. So level 1 Varus isn't going to be as strong. You did notice he was very strong in his level 1, almost like half shot, if not 3/4 hit, majority of champions level 1. So that was pretty OP if you're able to get his ability off quite a bit. And Aatrox's ability damage has been reduced. Now, for those, I mean, level 3... it's not much reduction, right? So getting a level 3 Aatrox has been quite hard. I do go a lot with Aatrox. I love Aatrox. He's an overall an amazing champion. But he's been a bit of a damage reduction in the early stages. So level 1 and 2 is quite the damage. So he's lost 150 there and 100 at level 2. But I did get my Aatrox to level 3 one time. And man, he is powerful as all hell. Now Aatrox's health has gone down 50 early game. So he starts off with 50 left health. But once you get him to level 2, that 70-100 just dies right off. I don't think you really matter. It doesn't matter. This level, early stage level 1 Aatrox is a bit of a nerf, but once it gets to level 2, you should be pretty sweet. Morgana ability has now been reduced as well for level 1 and 2. So just early stages for Morgana and Aatrox there for the demons. And of course, demon mana burn's been reduced. So demons have been debuffed a little bit. But if you don't go down the full debuff of... full buff of demon, you should be okay. Like the Morgana goes really well with sorcerers and stuff, so the whole mana burn for her won't really matter too much, which would be right. Dragons, finally, the 100% magic immunity. It's been ridiculous. They've gained, so now they've reduced that down to 83%, like the same as a Death Claw. Not a Death Claw, a Dragon's Claw. And they've reduced it down now to 83%. So dragons automatically get a Dragon's Claw straight away, which is cool if they get the buff, which is, I think, is better. And they've upped their base armor for Shyvana, which is cool, by 10. I mean, it's sort of a dramatic jump, but it's quite a lot. It's almost 50% more than what she had. And Aurelion Sol has more HP by 50, and ability has gone up a tad towards level 2 and 3. If you can get a level 3 Aurelion Sol, I've never seen it. So, and I've played... I think I'm in the top 3. I'm in the top 30 of most games played in OCE. So, I think I'm well over 200 games played now. So, I've never seen an Aurelion Sol level 3. That's just me. If you can get there, kudos to you. I'd love to see a photo of that. We pulled some power out of the goblins. Goblins weren't that overpowering, but early games they were. But we still think we should power casters that can also fit into other comps. Okay, so Lyssandra's ability. Lysandra, I've been saying this for a while on my live streams, that Lysandra is like D tier. It isn't that great. Like, it doesn't do that much damage. Like, I remember stacking Lysandra, level 3 Lysandra, stacked her, and she did, like, maybe, like, half the amount of damage of my main damage dealers. Like, she did, like, nothing. And for CC-wise, yeah, she kind of, like, either entombs herself or entombs someone else, but it's only one person. Like, you rather stack a Sejuani, because he can ult the entire team, and then that's probably a bit better. But, I mean, Lysandra as an individual, she is an elementalist, but I still think she needs a little bit more look at that with how her abilities go. Brand ability damage. I mean, Brand's been buffed. His ult wasn't doing that much damage, but now with the buff, I'm going to see a lot of Brands out there, I think, and maybe a little bit more Lysandras. I don't know. But I used to do Glacial Ranger build, and Lysandra was kind of in there, and she just wasn't pulling the weight. Guardians are finding a small niche, but the cost of running one early is a bit much. Yes, it is. That is true, because let's be honest, you're never going to get Leo early game. It's mainly along the lines of like level 7. You probably get an early Leo, maybe level 6 if you're lucky, but yeah. But you can see now the base armor rate, which is huge for Leona. Like, so if you're going noble buff, that is massive. That's like that's a 50% armor buff to Leo. And Braum gets a 50 as well. That's, 45 and 50 for Braum. So 50 pretty much for both. That's crazy. And Guardians now stack 50 armor per stack, and Guardians don't buff themselves. So, in other words, they give to everyone around them, but they don't get the extra 50 on top. So they're pretty much giving it to them anyway, off the bat. So, they've already given the extra armor to them, so therefore they won't get the extra armor on top of that. So everyone used to get it and would give it to them anyway. But to get that extra buff early game, Braum was pretty weak. But now you're going to see a lot of tanky Braums out there. So kudos to the Glacial builders out there, because that's going to help out a lot for you guys for your front line and for them not to break through. Knights are currently a fine 2-piece front line at the start. Definitely early game. Noble with the Darius, pretty OP early game. You get a Gunslinger, get that Get that Lucian. It goes really well. 4-stack piece. Yada. So Knights block 20, 40, 80 damage from basic attacks. Yes. Your team ignores damage from all sources. Now, what's not expecting this? That's massive. Like, I haven't read this yet. This is the first time I'm kind of reading it. I wanted to read it with you guys. But that is a massive change. So, basic attacks was kind of pointless late game, right? Because everyone starts to stack mana and ults start to go off everywhere. And it becomes pointless for basic attacks. That's why Knights dropped off a lot late game. But now they got the ignored damage from everywhere. Yeah, it's not as much. So 15, 30, and 55. But if you get full stack of nobles, you get 6 stack of nobles, Knights, that is going to be 55% all damage reduction. That's a massive. All damage dealt will be reduced by 55%. That is huge. That includes true damage. I'm going to assume that includes true damage because it says damage from all sources. So your Knights are going to be more tankier than ever, and everyone on your team are going to be tanky because it says your team. So it's not just Knights that get the buff. Everyone gets the buff. That's huge. So yeah, you get the full Knight buff. That's a massive reduction. So I can see a lot of Knight Rangers out there because that front line ain't going to be destroyed anytime soon. So also Darius got a buff. Garen got a buff. Mordekaiser got a buff. Sejuani got a buff. They all got buffed. Kale's health got debuffed and Kale's armor got improved. Okay. So, yeah, it's not really too bad for Kale. But that is massive for Knights and Nobles. Like, that is huge for Knights and Nobles. So, we're going to see that. Like, Kale, Garen, all Nobles. So, that is going to be really good. Look forward to seeing that. The old ninja bonus promotes scaling issues. Okay, so another thing again with scaling issues with ninjas. So ninja trait, 40% and 80% damage. Now, I know a lot of people are saying this about the Katarina ults and all that kind of stuff with the ninja stuff, the AP. But this time the ninja trait, I know Katarina isn't a ninja, but Akali, sorry, was what I was meant to say. Akali's ult is really good, right? So a lot of people are saying the assassin ninja trait was really good with Akali. So we might see more Akalis and ninjas out there, which would be pretty cool if you get the full ninja buff. Because that'll make Cannon 60% AP damage. So if you get Cannon as part of one of the ninjas, Cannon is going to be really good. And all AD dealt as well from the ninja is going to be insane. So I can see Cannon, even though we got the debuff, so to speak, if you go all Knights, that buff is going to be just as big, I think, if not bigger for our boy Cannon. So as you guys can see, Cannon's ability got reduced dramatically here. Like, it's a big drop-off to late game Cannon. But with that extra ninja buff, that'll just boost him well and truly above what he was already on before. So, I mean, I like it. I think this buff, the ninja buff, we'll see more ninjas out there. It'd be cool. And Akali also got a debuff as well with this new buff because of her ult. We all knew that Akali's ult was really good. But with the new buff, it's reduced to 150. But with that full buff, 60%, she's going to go, you know, almost 600, 625, 650 AP damage basic just from that alone without any items. So that'll be well and truly above what she was already on before. So that's good. Noble should be very powerful buff when you get it, yeah. So Noble buff, again, that was another thing that dropped off late game because it was only armor that it stopped. And like I said before, guys, auto attacks aren't really late game thing. It was more MR. So MR is more late game. But this is going to stop gunslingers, I think, in their tracks. So Vayne's attack damage has been reduced. Attack speed has been increased. This will be able to get her 3-stack passive off, which would be good. And Garen's attacks have been reduced. Garen's speed has been increased, which allows him to get his ult off faster. Only slight changes here. Garen's ability damage has been increased. So Garen, spin to win, late game is way bigger. So buffed him at level 1, buffed him at level 3. Level 2 is still the same. So level 3 Garen with Noble buff and Knights. I think Garen's going to be the next carry. By looking at this, level 3 Garen, I think with the armor and MR, I think this would be really good. And the 35 to health still there. So this would be really good. Garen fixed a bug where he couldn't move while spinning. Beyblades is back. Yes, because I always said this was a weird thing. Because Garen, when a Garen ults or spins on a target, and that target dies within that spin, he just stays there and doesn't move, right? But there has been glitches where I have seen Garen move to targets. So I'm like, why doesn't he do that all the time, but only does it sometimes? And I knew it was a weird bug that happened, and they've now fixed it. So now Garen, like I said before, Garen's probably got the biggest buff here out of everyone. And if you guys don't know how I got my name, TheBigGeee came from when I played League of Legends when I first started on Twitch. And I used to main Garen. So a little close to my heart there. My boy Garen's back. Get a round of applause. Awesome. Moving on. Pirates. Pirates was also over nerfed for fear of what it could do in the economy builds. This was pointless, right? The fear of what it could have done. When every time I've gone Pirates, I think out of like the 10 rounds that you get, I would probably get 3 or 4 chests that gave me 0 gold. Like 0. I would rather the pirate build give you 2 or 3 gold extra a round, maybe, but you get something, you know? 1 to 3 gold, and you get something, you know? Completely nothing. It makes me second guess what's the point of even going pirates in the first place, you know? It really does. Boots and fish bones, like that was just so annoying to see. Pirates average gold now is 1.6 per chest. It's going up to 1.75. I still think it should just be, screw the per chest thing. It should just be 1 to 3 gold. Done. That's all. There's no no gold at all. That should be changed. Like that whole point percentage is dumb. Graves attack speed has been increased. I don't think that's even why. I don't understand why they did that, because Graves with Blade Master is broken. Absolutely broken at the moment with the amount of times he can attack. Twisted Fate improved cast speed. That's good. So Twisted Fate got a bit of a buff here. 50 on level 1, 100 on level 2, and 150 on level 3. So Twisted Fate got more ability power. Cool. I don't think that really applies too much to his mana or his stun. It's more towards his damage itself. So obviously you guys know Twisted Fate's ult is the 3 cards. Damage, stun, or mana for your team. And an AoE spin. That has got a bit of, I think that's mainly for the damage card. I don't think the stun will do too much damage, but yeah. Void. This is a whole thing that everyone's talked up about. The Void monster, as you guys seen earlier. Right. Void trait has been completely changed and now gives true damage. So that is massive. So the 50% armor was okay. It was all good. Like that was okay. I don't think it was, but no one really went Void because it wasn't that powerful anymore. So they've moved that now to true damage, which gets rid of everything. So that's really good. But I still think, as I said before, with the was it Knights, who now 55% damage reduction, that's still going to stop true damage. So Knights will probably be the main blockage here for Void, but we'll see that coming in soon, I guess. Cassidy got an increase in attack damage and debuffed in speed. Karzik's ability damage non-isolated. Don't know. Oh, right, he gets the buff from the... Yeah, okay, right. So when he's by himself, he gets the buff. Yeah, okay. So non-isolated gets he got a buff there on level 2 and 3 on the isolation damage. So when Karzik's... What that means is, if you guys didn't know, Karzik's has like a passive, I think it is, that if he's left alone or isolated on his own, he does more damage. So it's better off leaving him like separate to the rest of your assassins because he's jumps and needs to be left alone. I don't know why that is. He just likes to be left alone. Rek'Sai got a damage increase. Rek'Sai was kind of hopeless and useless at one points. Damage ability got more damage. Okay, so this is good because I did feel like Rek'Sai's dive to damage was not that great. And Rek'Sai's ability to heal has been decreased early on. Oh, the whole time. So 150 early, that's a massive drop early game to 100 and then to 50 late game. That's early at level 1. Wow. I don't think Rek'Sai was really that strong early game, to be honest. I honestly don't think... I think they've changed it due to the fact they've increased his ability damage. So gave him less healing. I think that they're just trying to, like, give and take something here on Rek'Sai to see if people will change it up. I don't think that's what it is. Cho'Gath's attack speed has been increased. His damage, his ability damage and knock-up ability. Oh my god. Okay. So this is massive for Cho. So this is massive again for Void. And for all you brawlers out there that don't mind the Void as well, this is massive. So with that Void buff that does true damage, the AoE ult is going to be massive. If you get him to level 3, like getting a Cho to level 3 is hard enough, right? So you're looking at maybe level 2 Cho, but majority average level 2 Cho, pretty good. 500 ability damage, plus for the health buff and stuff from Brawler's show is going to be deadly this patch, I think, for them. AoE, just stack Cho'Gath. That AoE true damage is going to be massive. All good. And the ability knockout 1.52 to 2.5. So it's got a bit of a debuff here, a little bit. But pretty good nonetheless, I think. It's good. Yordles. Now, Yordles have been kind of up and down these last two patches. They haven't really been that great. Like, trying to get 6 Yordles is probably pretty hard. Yeah, and having the full stack. So they got a bit of a debuff here late game. 6 Yordles, but early game 3 Yordles, which is be good for some of the comps that I go out there. I'm not going to explain what I go. I don't want you guys to try and outdo me, but this helps me a lot for some of the patches that I use Yordles for. I don't use Yordles in 6 Yordles, but I use them in 3, so work it out yourselves, I'm not telling you. But yeah, in a pretty good spot, right? So I can't feel really bad about it when the dodge doesn't work on things it properly should. Okay, it's fine. Yordle's got a debuff by 5% early game, so 3 out of 6. Got the 5% debuff and 5% increase. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. So 5% increase and 5% decrease late game. Okay, Lulu's armor has been decreased by 5. I mean, Lulu's already squishy enough, but I mean they're making it super squishy now. Viger HP has gone up. Not bad. Not bad. So, and Na's AD has gone up. I still think Nah still needs a bit of a look at in the sense of maybe increasing his attack speed a little bit. Just so he ults, or maybe make his mana less likely to, because he's such a hard champ to get his ult to go off. It's such a good ult, but at the same time, you can get Shyvana to ult so much faster, and it's so much better. So, I mean, comment down below what you guys think in that aspect. I just think Nah, I would like to see more Nahs, but you don't really see too much Nahs. Alright. Anyway, other champions. Blitzcrank's mana has been decreased, so he's able to pull a lot faster and knock up, which is cool. I mean, for those Blitzcrank fans out there, you only use Blitzcrank early game to pull out the ADC to win early games, but that's alright. Ashe got an increase in AD. We all know Ashe as the CC god for Rangers. She has just an insane style of that. Kindred got an AD buff. Morgana, so the Rangers got a bit of a buff here. Morgana's ability cast time has been increased to match with other champions. Yasuo's AD has gone up by 10. Karthus' ability has damage has gone up and by a dramatic amount. So late game, you're not going to get a level 3 Karthus. Like, that's massive. You get a level 3 Karthus, that's huge. And targets 1 extra person pretty much at level 1, and level 2, 2 extra people. So 2 extra people, he's going to ult the entire team. This 13 thing, like, I'm assuming maybe they're talking about like elemental goblins and maybe more along the lines of Elise. So it targets the spiders, but like 13 people on the field, like champions, that's massive. Like, that's absolutely huge. Anyway, we're almost finished here, guys. Locket gives a 200 HP. Locket gives a 200 FP shield. That's what it did. Now it gives 250 shield that lasts for 4 seconds. That's a huge buff, a debuff. In my aspect, that's a massive debuff, because most of the time you would add that to like the back line a little bit and some of your front line just to give them a bit of extra health. But if it only lasts 4 seconds, you only use a Locket these days for your front line, that it will reduce majority of the incoming damage that you hit in the first point. Iconic spark damage has been reduced, and I'm pretty sure the bug for that, I've heard that the bug for that has been fixed. I heard if you had Ionic Spark on a champion on the bench, that it would still be in effect, which is OP as, but I think they fixed that bug now. Hush silence duration 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Oh my god, they should all be like this. I'm hoping that they do this for all stuff. And I also think there should be like a couple of seconds where you shouldn't be able, the same champ should not be able to be silenced or can't be, you know, shrinked, and all that kind of stuff. I think all those disabled abilities, items are just whack at the moment for gunslingers and all that kind of stuff. They're just stupidly OP. Static shift damage, 100 to 90, it's not much. I mean, it's a bit of a decrease. I do think there's a lot more powerful items out there than static shift that they need to work on, but they did that. Okay, so Akali's adjusted her ability to closely resemble the real hitbox. Okay. Gameplay improves barrel Placement education, specific game who dies while the fuse is lit. Okay. KO cast adjustment to auto attacks missile plays while casting his ability. So really this is just a couple of like animation changes. Nothing really to do with gameplay. And also Volibear changes when he crits. I don't know, okay. Bug fixes. Rek'Sai will now be healed by redemption while buried. I've never seen this like... I've never seen that, but if that was a bug, then cool. I'm glad that... I don't see why him being buried would be a problem. I guess it's kind of like because he's immune to everything. I don't know. The Darken item, if you guys know what the Darken item is, that's the Demon Spatula and Teardrop, Tear of Goddess. That's what makes the Darken item. It makes someone a demon. We'll no longer give mana to demons when equipping during combat phase. So this will be... Yeah, so when you're placing that item onto someone during a match... It doesn't buff them anymore. I know if you used to do that, like buff items, it would give them mana and make them ult. So people used to wait if someone was about to die, would chuck an item on there and it would ult and win the round. I've seen that happen a few times. Vayne can no longer apply silver bolts onto units in Shen's spirit. That's good. That's good. Refuge. So if you guys know what Shen does, his ult does the aura that dodges all basic attacks. So Vayne was able to stack up. So when they got out of it, believed was able to deal max amount of damage when they got out of it. So now it can't stack at all, and Vayne will have to be, you know... So Shen is an OP champ against Vayne, because that is going to stop any type of build-up on any of the champs inside the Spirit Refuge, so... Good. Frozen Heart will no longer break for a round when selling its host unit. That's good. Dragon Skull will no longer reduce damage from champion abilities that deal true damage. Okay, so this is another thing for Rek'Sai. So Rek'Sai will bypass all Dragon's Claws. That was what I was saying earlier about true damage. Rek'Sai with that Void stuff, his ult will bypass the true damage. That's cool. So that means any ult. So even Kha'Zix's ult will be classified as true damage, which means it will bypass everything besides the only thing that will reduce it would be, I'm guessing, would be the Knight's buff, 6-man buff. That's pretty good. I like that. The play again button will be back to the same queue as... Okay, thank God for that. Voice chat and party will persist throughout multiple games. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. That'll pretty much wrap up the video. There is like one thing in there that is still a bug that haven't fixed yet. If you remove a champion or sell a champion on the field that has items and you go into a game while that's happening, your items disappear on the bench until you return. That needs to change. But overall, guys, I still think that Void and Cho'Gath Brawlers might be coming back with the ability to do true damage. Knights are coming back. Demons have been debuffed because, let's be honest, we want our shapeshifters to shapeshift rather than just being completely non-shapeshifting at all. And it's already hard enough for Nah to get his ult off. So, but yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, you guys, it helps you guys out a little bit. Make sure to give us a comment down below. Give us a goddamn thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, guys, much love. Let's wrap it up. Peace, love, and blessings. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take care of yourselves. Much love. Big G out.